Kailangan nga, balay mo, weekly,
Single ako.
bago buhay.
Yes, single ako.
Single pa rin daw, guys. Sino daw yung nag-abot sa'yo ng soft drinks doon sa picture? May nag-viral na picture. May nagbibigay daw sa'yo ng soft drinks, parang, na girl.
Kailan to?
Di ko alam lumabas lang yung picture
Yung sa Ilocos?
Yeah, I think. Oo, may nagbigay ng
asawa yan ng isang tatakbong konsehal.
Guys, take na pala yun. Guys, hindi siya threat. Wag na kayo problema.
Ay,
pero ito. Alam mo naman, dami mo kasi followers na bata Sabi ko, ano ba to? May fans club si Sandro, heartthrob. Dapat ba ganun? Anyway, ito. Ano more serious note? Minsan ba, naisip mo daw ba kung paano ang naging buhay mo? Where would you be today if you weren't a Marcos? Parang kung hindi ka naging Marcos, where would you be? What would you be doing? Ganyan.
Somewhat. I do think about that. I've had many advantages, diba? Because of my last name. I'm never going to deny that, and no one, that was always going to be obvious. But I'd like to think naman, regardless of my last name. And sinabi ko naman to nung nag-announce ako na tatakbo ako eh. Sana naman makilala niyo ako hindi lang bilang Marcos, kundi bilang Sandro din. And if you look at my track record, if you look at my past, if you look at what I've done, I think naman I can that my education, my professional before moving back, I'd like to think that I earned it. I don't think my sa tingin ko walang pakialam yung LSE or yung University of London, sa apelyido ko. Pati din sa trabaho sa London, I don't think wala silang pakialam. I worked in finance for 2 years. So that's why I wanted to go abroad muna. Because I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it because I could do it because I earned it and because I worked hard for it. And thankfully it worked out naman.
I'm not sure if this is a fair thing to ask kasi bata ka pa 27 ka pa lang But
bata pa ba yan?
Bata pa yun, 37 na ako. Kung matanda rin, ako, fossil. Hindi, ganito. You want to be a congressman, And siguro, if things go well for you, you might go for a national position someday when you get older. But instead of asking you kung open ka to running for a national position, because that's kind of, sobrang obvious ng sagot. But
well, no, not just that. So it's also medyo presumptuous yun eh. Hindi pa naman ako nanalo.
Para manalo ka muna congressman bago ka mag-vaccine, no?
Kaya nga medyo malas. Yan ang pinag-uusapan.
Yeah. But, ito yung question ko. I've talked to your dad a few times already, and I have a pretty good idea now on what his vision for this country is. You will obviously outlive your dad. So, sabihin natin 20, 30, 40 years from now, ano yung gusto mong mabago sa Pilipinas? Ano yung gusto mong maging yung Pilipinas? What's your vision for the Filipino people? Heavy no? Sige, take a moment.
Medyo heavy. But okay lang. No. Well, first of all, a Philippines that is united. A Philippines that has a clear path towards development, a Philippines that has a plan. Duterte has done, a very, very amazing, fantastic job with regards to that. But I think the Philippines that I want to see is the Philippines that has institutions that have room for longevity and sustainability. Whether that be wala ng traffic sa EDSA, whether that be easily accessible public transport, whether that be a federal form of government in order to empower and focus on the LGUs and take away from what you would call the Imperial Manila. It's a variety of things, no? But I think that all starts, which is why my dad's messaging is napakahalaga talaga yung mensahe niya. In order to get to that point, kailangan talaga magkaisa ang mga taong bayan. And yung hindi ko naintindihan talaga hanggang ngayon ay nung nanalo si PRD bilang Pangulo, ang dami pa rin tao parang pag nagkamali yung I don't know, yung kabinete niya or yung staff niya or whatever, kung may nagkamali, ang daming taong natutuwa. Eh, sabi ko na nga sa sarili ko, ba't mo yung ginagawa? Parang piloto yan ng eroplano, nagkamali siya, tapos natutuwa ka pa rin.
Eh, nakasakay ka sa eroplano.
Nakasakay ka sa eroplano, tapos tumatawa ka sa kanya. I mean, di ba, parang it doesn't make sense to me. And I think part of that is as of now, um, a lack, well, it's coming back. It's coming back, thankfully. Pero kailangan talaga ng nationalism. I think that's what's missing now is the pride of being a Filipino and what it means to be a Filipino. And I think, thanks to PRD and the way things are going, that's slowly coming back. And I think with that comes the unity din of our people, of our countrymen.
All right. So you went to college, you graduated, you worked in finance for 2 years, and then you came back to Manila, worked under Madjo as his consultant, parang political officer or something. And then you became the an economic consultant for Ilocos Norte. So far, yung dalawa mong local positions are appointive. If you become congressman, elective na yon, Chong. Madugo yan. Titirahin ka everyday. Lalaitin ka everyday. Are you ready for it?
Lalo
Or
na kung
babash?
mananalo tatay ko.
At kung manalo pa tatay mo, titriple pa yan. So, game ka na ba?
Game. Game na talaga. It's never bothered me. Lalo, I always say, performance is the best equalizer. You know, kahit anong sasabihin ng mga tao, kahit anong sasabihin ng kabila, kung magaling ang ginagawa mo at nararamdaman ng tao, their words won't go anywhere because, I mean, people will see naman that there is a palpable, tangible effort that you are undertaking for the building of this nation. And I think that's what's the most important. And there will always be, politics is always a majority game. It's never a totality game. And that will never happen. So just make sure basta may plano ka, sundan mo yung plano, and hopefully all will be well.
I remember the last time I interviewed your dad, he said that public service is a sacrifice. And I also believe that, and you probably agree too, na ganun nga. And and then I
Hindi,
asked him,
hindi madali yung trabaho natin, that's for
yeah.
sure.
So I asked him, if it's a sacrifice, then why are you torturing yourself? So I'm gonna ask you the same question. If public service is a sacrifice, ba't pinahihirapan mo yung sarili mo?
If this is, what I'm going through now, and yung mga ginagawa ko ngayon, compared sa mga tao na tinutulong namin, this is easy compared to what they have to go through. This is nowhere near as hard. And I've never considered, I mean, mahirap naman talaga kasi nakakapagod. No? Ang dami mong ginagawa. Being a public servant is a mentally and physically taxing thing. But hardship and poverty far, far, far outweigh that of a tired day or that of a mentally exhausting process or kahit anong ginagawa mo na mahirap. So, you have to think about it relatively. Politics and public service may be a hardship, but it's nothing compared to the hardship that the people are going through. So once you think of it like that, madali lang yung ginagawa mo. And like I said, the feeling that I've gotten from helping people is the best feeling I've ever had in my life. better than anything I've ever done. So it's well, madali lang.
In fairness, ganda yung sagot niya, hindi ko naisip yun. Alright, um, thank you contestant number 3. Ah, kuwari beauty contest. Hindi, ganito, final message tayo, Sandro. Kung may ano gusto mong sabihin ngayon sa mga botante, sa mga even all the citizens, all the residents of the first district of Ilocos Norte, and probably to the rest of the Philippines, because right now there's 22,000 people watching in Facebook and YouTube combined.
22,000?
Yeah, print,
Wow.
pinrint screen ko, para sa pinrint screen ko, send ko sa iyo sa Telegram mamaya. Okay, so ano message mo para sa kanila? Especially to the
Well,
people from the first district of Ilocos Norte.
pagsimulaan ko na lang yung national sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa buong bansa. Unang-una, maraming salamat na naghahanap kayo ng oras para makinig sa amin. Sana naman up to now, we continue supporting the BBM Sara Uni team. We continue fighting for the unity of this country. And trust me when I say there are no two better candidates than the BBM Sara partnership to bring this country forward, para ituloy yung mga programa ni PRRD. And